I'm Roy Dib from Lebanon. I presented Mondial 2010 at the Berlinale 2 years ago, and I won the Teddy Award for Best Short Film. My film talks about a Lebanese gay couple who decided to go on an impossible journey to Ramallah to spend 3 days there. And so we spend the time with the protagonist in Ramallah, in a city that Lebanese cannot visit. And it's as much queer as political positioning of Arabic cinema today.
Hi Roy, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm good.
Well, thank you very much for doing this interview with us. Well, first of all, a question about your movie. I mean, your film is actually showing an impossible situation about two people going to Israel from Lebanon, which is not possible because both countries are officially still at war. How did you come up with the idea to this movie? What is the background of the movie?
Okay, first they're going to Ramallah in Palestine through the Israeli borders. So the thing is that being someone who lives in Lebanon and who met a lot of Palestinians in Lebanon or outside in different countries, I was always curious to about this situation where it's a very close country and it's like on the borders, but we're not allowed, like Lebanese are not allowed to go to Palestine and Palestinians are not allowed to come to Beirut or to Lebanon. And so it all starts from this curiosity of like people living between two cities, which is Beirut and Ramallah, that they are so close but they're not able to visit each other. So this impossible journey was like this film was about this impossible journey, about this couple traveling from Beirut to Ramallah as if it is possible, so making it possible somehow.
Mm. Where was the movie screened? Was it screened in Beirut?
In fact, it was screened in Beirut 2 or 3 times even. Yeah, it was once screened in a video program called Video Works, organized by Ashkal Alwan, and at the Lebanese Film Festival, where it won an award also, and at an art center called Beirut Art Center.
Mm. Well, you said it won an award in the Lebanese Film Festival. So, how was the movie perceived by the audience, but also by juries?
In fact, it was very well received. I was very positively surprised by the theater. This night was fully packed, and it was already, the screening was happening after the Teddy Award, so it was the first time also like being screened. So in Beirut, so everybody was waiting to watch the film in Beirut, and it was amazing. Like the reception was amazing, and I was happy that it was also awarded in Lebanon for sure.
Hmm. Well, can you tell us a bit about the situation for queer people in Lebanon? Like, would you say that it is normally difficult to show such a movie in Lebanon, or is that something that regularly happens?
Okay, here the situation is a bit complicated because, like in my situation for this film, for Mondial 2010, it was. For example, in the Lebanese Film Festival, it was programmed at the opening night of the festival. So the opening night of the festival is free of tickets, so it's by invitations as it is the opening night, which make for the festival possible to screen movies that are not presented for the general security for censorship. Mm. So, and that's why my film was programmed on the opening night. So my film was not presented for the censorship. So, in fact, so the problem in Lebanon is that such films cannot be screened once because they need a permit of screening from the general security, so from the censorship. And here it comes where like sometimes they would accept or not, but it's like it's the risk to take to present it for the censorship. And the other festivals, it was the same. Where like those kind of festivals, which are video festivals or a gallery or an art center, they don't need any permission for screening. So, and I have never presented my film for the censorship. So this is the case. No.
How does the censorship work? I'm not quite sure if I understood correctly. So it's rather quite randomly?
Whenever you need to screen a film in theater in Lebanon, you need to present it for the general security. So they have an office which give you a permit of screening. So you have different kind of permit. You have the permit for festivals, which is easier usually, and you have the permit for commercial screening, when it's like going commercial in theater. And so they watch the film and then they give you a permit. Sometimes they tell you like to have the permit you have to eliminate this scene or like this moment in the film, or you don't have a permit at all. So the film will be banned from screening. And this is a prerequisite to be able to go to the theater with. So usually any festival, you have to present all his program to the general security to have this permit before going to theater. Except when it's free of tickets. So there's this, because even this role of the general security is not something very official. Like in the law, in the Lebanese law, there is no very clear text that say that this is the role of the general security to do. So there's something like common when festivals are for the opening night, they don't present the film for the general security, considering that it's by invitation only, so it's not for the full public. So it's more something happening in private.
And how?
Yeah, we have our way to go around the laws.
And how strict is this censorship? Are they extremely strict, or is it sort of like randomly that sometimes they let movies pass, or?
It is like it's how to say, like taboos are somehow religion, politics when it comes to like to criticize president mainly. And so you cannot criticize the president, you cannot criticize the religion people. Religion, I mean, like cardinals or like the sheikh, or and sex comes the third, like it's the lesser taboo possible. So you can have a lot of films with sexual content, nudity, and then sometimes it's put off for like 18 and plus, but it is still, but in fact it's different when it's queer. So when it's queer, there is like they're more strict.
Okay. Would you say that there is sort of like a queer film history in Lebanon or in the Arabic-speaking world?
Unfortunately, not that much. In fact, no, not that. Like we have. Like personally, the films that I have seen are films where they're portraying a queer character as a secondary role, or like someone who have one scene in a film. And usually, most of the time, it's more of a stereotype of a queer character. So if it's the gay man, so it's more the more effeminate, or like it's usually to a negative stereotyping image of queer. It's very rare to see a film where the main role or like the main story is talking about a queer gay person. Yeah, that's more or less the situation. And this was part of like in Mondial. It was very essential for me that we're going with this couple that is a gay couple, and at the same time we don't see them, and we're talking about something that's very political. So it's a very, for me, Mondial 2010 is as much political as much queer, and queer is political in the situation of Mondial 2010. But like having them as the main protagonist was essential also as a political positioning towards the Arab cinema also.
So the absence was actually a statement, a political statement.
Yes, somehow, because also it is an impossible journey. So I didn't want to go into this magic of having really those person in Ramallah. I wanted always to have this distance where we as an audience we're always questioning if they really were able to make it or not. And like if cinema is capable of doing this magic of like putting people in different spaces, I didn't want to go to use this tool to the end where we even like it's changing reality somehow. So I wanted it only to question more than to create a different space.
To me, it sounds also a bit like that. There are obviously quite a few obstacles when you're shooting a movie with queer content, but at the same time, those obstacles actually force you to be more creative, it seems, to go around.
You know, the problem with in countries where there's censorship and there's like you have all those constraints. The problem is that a lot of artists start to do auto censorship before like presenting their work. Or like even while writing or like while filming, they start thinking about the censorship in the creative process. So they do what we call an auto censorship, but this is a big problem happening in all the countries where there is this kind of censorship. And yeah, it's a challenge how to always like try to think and to act with the maximum freedom that you want to, and then go with the like and wait to see what will happen after. Like recently, my last project I was working on, I was filming in Lebanon. So and part of the censorship is that you have to present a permit of shooting also. Like so, when you start working on a film, you go and present a script, and they give you a permit of shooting. And then you shoot, and then when you present for the censorship, for the screening, you have to present the permit of shooting that you had from the beginning. So and this time I decided that I will give the full script as it is. I won't change anything. And it was funny because I had a permit saying that yes, you can shoot with the condition of not promoting homosexuality, not promoting use of drugs, because I have characters who use drugs in the film, and so it was like, and this is funny. This says nothing. Like, what does it mean to promote use of drug or to promote homosexuality or not? Like, this is debatable, and I was like, yeah, okay, I have the permit, I can shoot, whatever. And we'll talk later. We'll see.
But to promote is not understood as to depict, so it is not completely forbidden to show it? Or where's the line between promote and showing?
That's the point. There's no. It's very vague. Like it comes back, like, to be able to understand this, you can go back to the law. In Lebanon, the law that we inherited from the French mandate, a very old law that's not used in French for now for sure. Says that any relation against nature is forbidden. So, and there's nothing more precise than this. So what is used today in Lebanon to criminalize homosexuality is this law. So it's the role of the judge to say if what's happening here, the action, is against nature or not. And it happened like 2-3 years ago that a judge announced, like declared a two-person in front of him in the court innocent, though they confessed that they had a homosexual act, and he said that this law is not, we cannot apply to these people because they have not done anything against nature, and we're not in position to define what is with nature and against nature. So, and this happened in Lebanon, and now any other judge can use this verdict as a jurisprudence, as in a French law is applicable, to announce another person innocent also. So you see, it's always like the line is very vague always, and it's like even in the censorship they use words like this is sensitive for I don't know, for like this is politically sensitive, or like this is for social behavior it's very sensitive. So it's always like you have to, it's a dialogue. It's not a dialogue, it's more of a fight with the censorship, but yeah, this situation.
Well, you gave this example of the two men and the judge. Would you say that other judges will probably apply this? Do you see a progress in terms of queer rights, of gay rights?
You know, in Lebanon we have, from a long time ago, we have an association called Hilm. That's an association for queer people, for LGBTIQ. And this association had a permit from this government, from the state. Also, like in a very tricky way, because in the French law, when you present also the paper to the state, and if they don't reply in 2 months, you're automatically legal. So that's what we inherited also from the French, and it was applicable for this association. And they've been working in Lebanon for for a long time and doing advocacies, and they have their center. What was the question?
The question was if you see a progress in terms of gay rights.
Yeah, so like there's a lot of work of advocacy. There's a lot of work with lawyers. There's publications like this case of this judge was like published in a book about like a whole research about the work of law and the cases in Lebanon that was under the same law of like against nature, what happened in each case. And there's also associations doing workshops with lawyers to talk about this law specifically. So yeah, things are moving very slowly, but they are.
But they're moving. To come back to your movie, you said it was screened in Lebanon after it was in the festival in Berlin, and then later it was screened in the Lebanese Film Festival. Would you say that there was an impact that the Teddy Award had on the movie?
Yeah, for sure. Like, in fact, the premiere of the film was at the Berlinale, so it was the first time to screen the film. And yeah, like the film now have been shown in more than, I don't know, 20, 25 film festivals around the world. It's won 8 awards. I have received a lot of invitations from a lot of festivals because it was awarded at the Teddy. So and for sure, yeah, like it gives, this award gave a huge visibility for the film, and it is very special to me because, like, you know, this film was part of the Forum Expanded section at the Berlinale, which is the most recent section of the festival. It's the section that where artists and filmmakers are presenting their work between video and video installation and film. So, and this work, and I come also from a background of contemporary art artist, so I work between film and video installation and video. And this film, I was always wondering if, like, those categories of video, film, experimental, I'm not very fan of, let's say. So it was at the Forum Expanded, and like suddenly it was like, wow, it was awarded the Teddy, and it opened a whole spectrum for sure.
And apart from the impact on the movie, would you also say that it had a personal impact on you? I mean, how did you feel when you got the award for the movie?
It was a huge surprise because I always tell this story about Puri from the Forum Expanded section. One day before, we were having a dinner with all the people from the Forum Expanded, and he was like, I have tickets for you for a party happening tomorrow night. I was like, no, I'm going to the Teddy ceremony. He was like, no, are you sure? Like, this is a huge party, you will have fun. I was like, no, I'm sure, I'm going to the Teddy Award. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's fine. And then I went, and I didn't know. So and then I understood after that he was making sure that I'm going to the ceremony without telling me that you have to go because you're awarded. So it was a huge surprise for me. And the funny thing is that before going, I was with my friend where I was staying in Berlin, and she was like, come on, let's put a tie and let's dress as fancy as like going on red carpet. I was like, no, come on. It's like, yeah, let's do it. And I was there with my tie and like with my bota and dressed, and it looked like as I was going to have this award. It was so funny.
You look well prepared, I have to say that.
Yeah, it was all by mistake, like.
Well, the Teddy Award is celebrating its 30th birthday next year, so that means 30 years of awarding queer films. What is something you would wish for the future of the Teddy Award? How would you wish the queer film world to evolve in the next, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 years?
Well, first of all, happy birthday for the Teddy. I wish for the Teddy to continue doing what's already doing. What's very special with the Teddy Award is that it's one of the, I think it's the only, I'm not sure. It's one of the few festivals in the world where the award is coming part of a huge festival like the Berlinale, and the films are selected because they are already good films. They have their thematic quality, and the Teddy Award comes to put light on the specific films that they have this queer topic. So, and I think this is great, especially when it's already happening in a big visibility of a festival like the Berlinale. So it's a huge work, and I was always a fan of the Teddy Award like long time ago, and here it comes that I was once on the stage and won an award also. So it's great. Happy birthday. Okay, first they're going to Ramallah and Palestine through the Israeli borders. So, so the thing is that being someone who lives in Lebanon and who met a lot of Palestinians in Lebanon or outside in different countries, I was always curious to like about this situation where it's a very close country. And it's like on the borders, but we're not allowed, like Lebanese are not allowed to go to Palestine, and Palestinians are not allowed to come to Beirut or to Lebanon. And so it all starts from this curiosity. I'm Roy Dib from Lebanon. I presented Mondial 2010 at the Berlinale 2 years ago, and I won the Teddy Award for Best Short Film. My film talks about a Lebanese gay couple who decided to go on an impossible journey to Ramallah to spend 3 days there. And so we spent the time with the protagonist in Ramallah, in a city of like people living between two cities, which is Beirut and Ramallah, that they are so close, but they're not able to visit each other. So this impossible journey was like this film was about this impossible journey, about this couple traveling from Beirut to Ramallah as if it is possible, so making it possible somehow.
Mm. Where was the movie screened? Was it screened in Beirut?
In fact, it was screened in Beirut 2 or 3 times even. Yeah, it was once screened in a video program called VideoWorks, organized by Ashkal Alwan, and at the Lebanese Film Festival, where it won an award also, and at an art center called Beirut Art Center.
Mm. Well, you said it won an award in the Lebanese Film Festival. So, how was the movie perceived by the audience, but also by juries?
In fact, it was very well received. I was very positively surprised by the theater. This night was fully packed, and it was already, the screening was happening after the Teddy Award, so that Lebanese cannot visit. And it's as much queer as political positioning of Arabic cinema today.
Hi Roy, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm good.
Well, thank you very much for doing this interview with us. Well, first of all, a question about your movie. I mean, your film is actually showing an impossible situation about two people going to Israel from Lebanon, which is not possible because both countries are officially still at war. How did you come up with the idea to this movie? What is the background of the movie?